Since 2017, the Italian Wine Podcast has exploded, recently hitting 6 million listens. Support us by buying a copy of Italian Wine Unplugged 2.0 or making a small donation. In return, we'll give you the chance to nominate a guest and even win lunch with Stevie Kim and Professor Attilio Scienza. Find out more at italianwinepodcast.com. Chin chin!
Welcome to this special Italian Wine Podcast broadcast. This episode is a recording off Clubhouse, the popular drop-in audio chat. This Clubhouse session was taken from the Wine Business Club and Italian Wine Club. Listen in as wine lovers and experts alike engage in some great conversation on a range of topics in wine. If you enjoy listening, please consider donating through ItalianWinepodcast.com. Any amount helps cover equipment, production, and publication costs. And remember to subscribe and rate our show wherever you tune in.
Today is our 115th episode on Clubhouse Ambassadors Corner, and I'm so happy that we have been consistently doing this. It's a pleasure for us to connect our Italian wine ambassadors with their favorite Italian wine producer, and this has been going on, for 3 years or 2 years. I really can't recall, but we are happy to keep this show going. It's been one of our favorite shows on Italian Wine Podcast. So for today, we have Robert Maggi, born and bred in Puglia. He's now settled in Cardiff, where he's been for the past 4 years. After graduating into 2012 from, Aberystwyth.
I'll help you with this. Aberystwyth.
Thank you. I was practicing this, before, and I was trying to repeat this. Now I don't know, I just can't pronounce it now. Aberystwyth University in Business and Management with Spanish. It was a simple wine course back in 2013 that sparked his passion for wine, and he now holds the ICE certification as a sommelier, level 3 WSET, and recently qualified as an Italian wine ambassador with the VIA Accademy. He has extensive experience in the sector, including time with the award-winning Australian winery Jim Barry Wines, as well as dedicating the last 5 years to the promotion of wines from Puglia around the globe. His passion is now his job, and he now runs his own company, Wines and Vines, with the aim to import and distribute wines from Italy in the UK market, focusing on smaller producer and native varieties from Italy. He has recently founded and organized the second edition of the Cardiff Wine Festival. So tell me more about the second edition.
It was great. We actually had also Cynthia, who I can see just joined us.
Yes.
She came over, and it was great to have her over. And of course, Massimo was there as well. The idea behind the Cardiff Wine Festival was to actually bring the producers in contact with the consumers, and something that didn't really happen in Cardiff. Everybody always stops in London, so it was nice to actually bring some of the producers out of London and into Wales. It's nice for them to see a new market, really, new trends, new places. And likewise for the consumers, then it was nice, not having to go all the way to London to actually meet some wine producers. It's a one-day event, and we welcomed over 1,000 guests. Hard day, a lot of wine being poured. This year we had over 270 wines, and so far it's a great success.
Oh, that's very nice. That's very successful. And when are you thinking of doing the third edition?
Hopefully, we'll be confirming dates very shortly. And the last 2 editions have been at the last weekend of June.
And of course, what's the website for the Cardiff Wine Festival?
The CardiffWineFestival.com, and then we have a few social media pages as well with Cardiff Wine Festival. If not, our Wines and Vines website, there's more information there as well.
Okay, so tell us why you selected Massimo Pasetti as your favorite producer.
Okay, so Massimo and his family's story it really is extraordinary. Passionate winemakers with a great vision, who have, in a way, become pioneers in Abruzzo when it comes to winemaking. And, what better platform other than the Italian Wine Podcast to share what Massimo and his family are doing.
Okay, thank you so much for introducing Massimo for the show on Italian Wine Podcast. Well, what are the learning objectives that we should be expecting from this interview?
So today, hopefully, we'll be learning a little bit more about the beautiful region of Abruzzo. Its main native grape varieties, Montepulciano and Pecorino, to just name a few. And we'll discover, like I said, the story of the Pasetti family, who have actually dared to plant vineyards in the heart of the Gran Sasso National Park at incredible altitude.
And how did you discover the wines of Pasetti Vini?
So I met Massimo a few years ago, actually, through another great producer, Marco Caiaffa, who hopefully I'll be able to interview him here in the future. And since then, we've had the opportunity to learn more about Pasetti in general and their wines. Fortunately, I'm yet to visit them in Abruzzo, but I have managed to drag Massimo to Cardiff twice now. So we must be doing something right.
Okay, that's great. That's great. And yeah, we look forward for the interview with Marco at some point. But today, yes, it's all about Massimo today.
Thank you, Leica. Okay, so now the fifth generation of the Pasetti family. Today I have the great pleasure to introduce you to Massimo, who together with his sister, Francesca Rachele, and brother Davide, now run Pasetti Vini, always under the careful watch of Father Mimmo. A real family affair like many wineries in Italy, Pasetti Vini is one of the leading wineries in Abruzzo, and in the whole of Italy, I'd like to say, associated with quality winemaking, working with the main native varieties of the region, and with all their vineyards within the Gran Sasso National Park. Ciao Massimo, welcome. How are you?
Hello Robert, hello Laika, and hello to everyone. Thank you for having me. It's a pleasure being here to introduce my family and my winery.
It's a pleasure. It's a pleasure to have the opportunity to chat with you on the Italian Wine podcast. And I'm sure our listeners will also find your story very interesting. I feel like every time we meet, I always learn something new about you and your wines, whether it's something new to do with the branding or the style of the wines. You're always innovating, always working on something new and new projects, carefully looking at trends. And correct me if I'm wrong, it's always not easy to do when you're running a well-established and quite big winery as well.
Yes, we are a family business, and we learn by our experience. So we had a lot of tradition, very long way in the future. So we are working to give the maximum that we can. It's a very hard work because the vineyard never sleep, and you need a lot of passion and feeling to approach this job. It's hard working with the family, but the good things is that you always came back and pointing on the quality, because we know everyone, we follow the same
path. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Perfect. But before we start, I need to ask you this, because we're around that time of the year. How's harvest going? I know it's not an easy vintage in many parts of Italy, but hopefully we have good news from you.
Yeah, I heard about very disaster situation in all of Italy, from the north to the south, and for sick or too much rain or not enough rain or ice, frozen, many problems. Luckily, we have been very, very lucky, because some years ago, my father decided to move all the vineyard that my grandfather left to us to go investing in the mountain of Abruzzo. So we are 80 kilometers from the coast up to 500 until 1,000 meter above the sea level. So we are the highest vineyard in Abruzzo, and the only one who can use the logo of the national park, because the national park give us the permission to use their logo to promote and let's show to the people the potential of this green region of Italy. We have a very nice coast and amazing mountains full of flowers and animals. We have a very many type of variety of vegetables. So it's a very rich region. And I invite you all to come and see with your eyes and touch with your hands how nature still
dominates the area. The nature always dictates the times.
Exactly.
It's a great story, and we'll be talking about this a little bit later when we talk about tourism. But you can see as that wine kind of drag in a little bit the tourism in general for Abruzzo. So it's great.
But
I always like to point out the logo of the national park. When we're drinking one of your wines here in the UK. So your father, you mentioned, he kind of decided to go more inland rather than staying on the coast. Maybe a risky decision back then, but obviously has now paid off. But if you can take a step back, so tell us a bit more about Pasetti Vini. When did it all start?
Yeah, I just want to finish the point that our vineyard on the mountains doesn't get sick, doesn't follow the rest of the end of the grapes for this harvest, because we are in the faraway area of the main production of Abruzzo. So our clean and purity of the healthy of the grapes is the result of the choice of many years ago, just to approach the problem of the climate changing and
Of course.
the massive production. So on the mountains it's very hard to have a lot of grapes because the vineyard suffer a little bit from the cold and the changing temperature from the microclimate and almost from the heavy rocks from the roots. So from the mountain is coming the minerality and the natural salty from the wine. We don't use chemical pesticide or herbicide because it's not allowed from the national park, and almost we don't need it. So thanks to the heavy wind, the insect doesn't attack the grapes, and almost we respect the microbiologia del terreno, who is full of fungus. So there's a net of mushroom down to the ground, and if you are going to use chemical stuff, those pesticides are burning the natural bacterial, the flora of the vegetables. So it's hard to the vineyard to grow in a desert. So nature follow a circle, and everything have its own reason. Okay, so we respect the insect, we respect the flora, and thanks to that, we can have every year an amazing harvest, always very clean and healthy grapes. In fact, for that reason, our wine in Abruzzo have the less concentration of sulfite of every other wineries, even more respect to the organic wineries. It's amazing.
I guess the only option you have is quality winemaking. You don't really contemplate quantities, considering all the factors that you mentioned.
Exactly. So we do wine for us, and then what rest we can sell it.
That's great. Okay, so tell us a little bit more. How did it all start? Is fifth generation, a long history in the family?
Yes, my family a long time ago moved from Veneto to go for camp in Abruzzo to grow grapes in order to send those grapes to the rest of the family who they was making wine. So when my grandfather died on a bomb, and his son doesn't have the cellular phone, so he lose the contact with the rest of the family. He decided to start to transform those grapes into wine for sell the wine, because it was easier selling wine than grapes, and everything start for that reason.
Wow.
So with the time, my family continue making, first of all, vineyard, okay, and selling the wine in like 5 liter, 10 liter, 50 liter. So my grandmother was taking the wine with the carriola, come si dice, to sell the wine door to door.
And so now there's you, Rachele, and Davide, who's the winemaker, and this is kind of the future for Pasetti, right?
Yeah, my father and my mother are still in charge of the winery, so we follow them and we always do what they want to do. So they are the captain. We are still learning the job, so we are doing our best. But when my father get in charge of the winery, because his father was old and sick, he decided to took off all the vineyard around the winery to go investing far away on the high mountain in order to do a different wine, not better, different. Okay, he is the dreamer. He almost followed all the vineyard. He have the passion. Yeah, I like to think about my father as the man in the movie who get on his knees and taste the ground and say, "Oh, this is a good place for plant a vineyard." So
Incredible. Every time I hear the stories, it's always fascinates me the courage, back then to risk everything and go and explore this land that really no one wanted. It's great.
The last project that he had made is to prepare the land before to plant the vineyard, mixing different soil, different kind of structure of ground to put clay, to put sand, to put rock or organic material. So we used lombrichi, come si chiama?
Like worms?
Exactly. Okay. So we use micoriti, so our la rete di funghi che serve a riorganizzare la materia.
Okay, so some sort of mushrooms that help to kind of reorganize the soil.
Yeah, right. And he started this project 8 years ago, and we had the fourth vintages from them. And I can assure you that those vineyards who have the mixed land are much stronger and powerful than the other. They never suffer the drying. They don't suffer the rain, and
it's very interesting.
Vineyards are full of grapes. From the other vineyard, we used to pick like 70, 80 tons per hectare. From those vineyards, we arrived at 100. So for us, it's an amazing thing because high quality, high production, close to the coast lands, you can make almost 300 tons per hectare.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, because it's very hot, warm, so the vineyard can push the grapes. But for us, 100 is an amazing result. So we are so proud of this project that my father started 8 years ago. There's a very famous winery in Italy. It's one of the first winery of Italy that they came in our wineries 2 times per year just for look and study what my father is doing. So they are trying to take, come si dice, prendere spunto.
They are looking at the project and hopefully reproduce it.
Yes, and last month we came there and we noticed that they was reproducing our way of preparing land. So my father was so proud and happy of that he pumped his
I bet,
chest.
Yeah. And this is, I bet, the beauty of wine. We need to share as well the achievements that all winemakers get, so the whole of Italy can grow as a wine region. If we can, Massimo, so talking about Abruzzo, inevitably we think of Montepulciano. So we're going to dive a little bit more into the varieties that you work with and then the wines that you produce. Montepulciano is a very well-known variety that's widely planted in Italy, not only in Abruzzo, but maybe in Abruzzo is where it best expresses itself. It can give, really rich wines, at times earthy and a little bit rustic, maybe sometimes in style. Some of them can age really well. But what's your relationship with this variety? How would you best describe Montepulciano?
Montepulciano d'Abruzzo is an amazing grapes, an amazing variety. If you are able to grow vineyard in the right way, you can have a very delicate, smooth, fresh rosé, very pinky color, high minerality, very easy to drink. And if you start from the vineyard and then continue in the winery, following the right way, you can have from the Montepulciano d'Abruzzo a wine that can age for 30, 50 years without no problem. It can arrive naturally at 15 degrees of alcohol very easily. and it have a very powerful color. I compare maybe the Merlot, that is a quite light color. It can have 10 point of color. In the Montepulciano, we can arrive at 60, 70 point of color. That's 7 times more. So it's an amazing.
I remember you
stuff.
invited me once to a tasting from the Consorzio. I think it was in Provine. And when I left that place, my teeth were black.
Yes. Yes, because in the skin of the grapes, there are the stuff, the tannin, the colors, and all the polyphenoli, antociani, catechine. If you fermented the grapes, the juice with the skin, you extract those stuff. If you quickly press soft those grapes and divided the skin from the juice, you will have very smooth color and light, fruity flower taste. That's the beauty of this variety. And differently to the Montepulciano nobles that everybody cadono in errore,
They're mistaken. They mistaken the Montepulciano nobile
with the Montepulciano d'Abruzzo. The different are the variety, not just the location, okay, or the region. The Montepulciano nobles is made with the Cabernet Sauvignon. The Montepulciano d'Abruzzo is a completely different variety. Ampellographicamente, I don't know how to say in English, is a different family of vineyard. So they are not even cousin, okay? The similar name was given from the family of Medici, that in the 14th centuries they came in Abruzzo to commercialize the sheep. Okay, they were looking for wool of the sheep, cioè loro commercializzavano lana di pecora per fare
sheep wool.
Yeah, sheep wool. And when they arrived in Abruzzo, they tried the Montepulciano and they see the potential of these grapes. So they decide to give the same name of the Montepulciano d'Abruzzo, because at that time Montepulciano nobles was a very, very famous grapes. So in that way, they buy grapes for very low price, and they move those grapes in the north part of Italy, like my family have made for generation, to sell those grapes like Montepulciano nobles to get rich. And so there's this little confusion from the similar name, but just the name is similar. The rest is totally different.
Don't worry, Massimo. We're used to it. We're used to being confused when it comes to Italian wines.
Wine to Wine Business Forum. Everything you need to get ahead in the world of wine. Supersize your business network. Share business ideas with the biggest voices in the industry. Join us in Verona on November 13 to 14, 2023. Tickets available now at winetowine.net.
Cool. And when it comes to white wines, obviously your vineyards are, like you mentioned, they go up to 1,000 meters in the Apennines. You also work with some white varieties. I mentioned Pecorino earlier. I know you also work with Passerina, but I'd like to focus a little bit more on Pecorino. What's so special about this variety?
The name of this variety is like the cheese, Pecorino, cheese made from the milk of the sheep. As I told you already from the Medici, that they came in Abruzzo for the sheep wool, because in Abruzzo, since the Roman Empire, we used to pay tax to Romans with the sheep, milk, meat, wool. So having mountains and coasts, region of Abruzzo is very good to having pascolare, come si dice, allevare. So having a lot of sheep, those sheep during the summer, they stay on the mountain and a high altitude to eat grease, fresh grease. And when the winter season coming in autumn, they moved on the coast to reach a more warm weather. So during those movements that we call it transumanza, during the transumanza, the animals found the vineyard and they just only eat the pecorino instead to others grapes, because the Pecorino, like the Chardonnay, arrived to the maturation before the others variety. So being more sweeter was more appetizer, and so the farmers notice this legum and give the name of the animal to the variety, to the plant. So that's how was born name of Pecorino, the grapes of the sheep.
And so when it comes to the style of the wine and the connection that it has in your vineyards, because obviously we have Pecorino as well from Le Marche, which is totally different than the one you have in Abruzzo.
The nice things of Italy is that we have a very straight land and very long. So we have mountains that divide the different region, and in every region we have different climate, different balance. So plant select his own best place to grow and to adapt for the climate that they are fighting. So Pecorino is from the center of Italy, because in the center of Italy we have more medium weather. In the north part is very cold. In the south is more hot. So in Abruzzo, Lazio, Marche, Molise, the temperature is more medium, okay? So that's very good for the plant to select his best place.
Yeah, that's, like you said, that's the beauty of Italian wine, really, and such great varieties that we have in the whole of Italy.
It's a very fruity aromas. Of course, I can assure you that the same variety made with the same system from the same hand, but from the two different sides of the same mountain, it's coming two completely different product. So it's very hard to me to compare a wine from the south with one from the north, because for me it's hard to compare one side of the other side to the same mountain. That's the terroir. My father, starting from a dream, from a project, he chose the best land for his experience, his sensibility. He chose the right place with the right ground, the right exposure. So you cannot wake up in the morning and say, okay, let's do some wine, start making wine. It's a
Absolutely
very heavy job. My brother had studied for 20 years. He had traveled around the world making 10 harvests in all of the world. He have been in Spain, in France, in Germany, in South Africa, in Australia. So he traveled a lot to learn and see the world of the wine is, and then come back in Italy to work with his family and give the
experience that he gained from...
Exactly. So for him, he needs some year to learn and
Absolutely
approach the tradition of the family, the traditional way of making wine. Slowly, he started to give his cut, his change, but with physics, not chemical. Okay, so
yeah, I mean, through his experiences, he's gained his own way of working, and I was going to say as well, able to prevent rather than then cure any possible issues in vineyards and in the cellar.
Exactly.
He's gained a rich experience behind, which is always great. It opens your mind as well. We're in a world where all wineries want to sell abroad, so it's important to also know and see and learn about new markets and how they work in other countries. And so let's move a little bit more on the kind of range of wines that you make. We've spoken about Montepulciano, and I guess your most iconic wine is the Testarossa. So what's the story behind this wine? A lot of people ask me, is it because of the Ferrari?
Unfortunately, no. Testarossa, it means red head. My father created this brand when my sister was born, because she had a red hair, and like my brother. So my sister is the first daughter, then me, and then my brother. So they both have red hair, and it's quite unusual in Italy, the red hair color. So my father wanna commemorate his battesimo. So he don't care about spending money. He bought a very particularly strange bottle, and using the best wine he have in the winery, and asked to an artisan friend of him to realize very particular label. And this artisan create the label, a leather label pressed with a hot stamp to vest this bottle. And everybody fall in love with that bottle because it was very pretty, good looking, and the wine was amazing. So my father understand that the market needs quality. They can appreciate the quality instead the quantity. So in the 99, when he became the owner, and he finally was able to realize his dream, making different wine, spending all of his care and attention.
Very interesting. And when it comes to the wine, Testarossa, what is it? So it's a Montepulciano d'Abruzzo Riserva, right?
Yes, for the disciplinary, so for the law of making wine, or from Abruzzo, you just need 6 or 9 months in a barrels to put the name Reserva, but we do 2 years, so 24 months of aging in barrique, because we think that the most important part of the barrels is not to give the taste of the wood, but to micro-oxygenate the wine. So with the micro-oxygenation, wine can age, evolve, and becoming more smoother and giving you more spicy aromas. So aging is very important. So it's not just putting the taste of the wood. So after 2 years of barrels, we can go in bottle. But before the 2 years in barrels, we spent 1 year in a cement tanks that was left from our grandfather. He made those cement tanks who are painted with a special glass painting that doesn't give the taste of the wine, so are like stainless steel. But the very good things of those cement tanks are the heavy and large wall that prevent the changing temperature of the wine, so the wine can rest and sleep and stabilized, okay, making a very good nap before to go in the barrels, because the barrels almost give to the wine a little tumulto, so it's a little bit stressed for the wine. Okay, so after the barrels, we need other 6 months of bottle. So the almost the time of spending in the glass bottle is essential, because the wine, like the cement tank, can rest and form his long legend and give you more taste, more smell, and more body.
It's one of my favorites from your range, and alongside the Pecorino. If you guys have a chance to taste it, definitely grab a bottle. So I think we have some time left, and there's one question I really wanted to ask you. Obviously, recently there's a lot of talk about what they call enoturismo, or the kind of tourism surrounding the wine. In your opinion, what does Abruzzo as a region need to do to improve and become even more so a wine destination? But you're bordering with Tuscany, which attracts all the attention. What do you think, Abruzzo can do during the coming years?
Staff are moving. So many projects, many agency of tourism are burning. They move very, very well. Either us are fixing the taverna in order to do more degustation, to have more people. So we almost have an agritourism up to the vineyard, but it's still closed because we don't have enough time. So we are still, come si dice, siamo ancora in fase di lavoro, di preparazione sotto questo aspetto.
Work in progress.
Yeah, work in progress, exactly. We focused just on the quality, and so we now are working for the project of the new winery, all down to the ground, all.
The winery is again within the national park, and every time we speak, there's a new issue that pops up. But it's Italy, we know.
Yeah,
so it must be a little bit frustrating for you as well, not being able to finish this new project, this new winery.
Yeah, but we don't give up, so we will continue to push and trying, because it's our job, our future. We can do wine. That's the things, not
No, of course. And after your father's great risks in moving there, I guess you need to continue his work as well and take it to the next step. There's one last question as well I wanted to ask you. In a way, you didn't choose this career, but we can say that wine maybe chose you. What's the legacy you as Massimo? Spoken a lot about your father as well, but what's the legacy you as Massimo would like to leave for future generations?
First of all, I hope to don't destroy everything. This will be a good starting point.
Good start, yeah.
And then our market is for more than the half in locally. So we are very well known in Abruzzo. Every restaurant, every pub, every bar, every liquor store, they have our product. It's a very unusual balance because cioè la percentuale di vendita delle aziende normalmente è prevalentemente estero, è difficile riuscire ad affermarsi in regione. E noi invece siamo riusciti, grazie al lavoro della qualità, ad essere molto riconosciuti.
You focus a lot on the distribution in Abruzzo, and I would say maybe a good 90% is sold in Abruzzo?
90% in all of Italy.
All of Italy, okay.
Yeah, and 60% is in Abruzzo, more than half.
And how many bottles do you produce at the moment?
We produce around 500,000 bottles.
Okay, so it's not more nice number that allows you as well to look at a foreign market. Obviously, we work a little bit in the UK with you, but which other markets are you present in worldwide?
I hope to let the Pasetti wine can be drinked in all over the world. Will be for me a very proud result.
Nice. What are your main markets?
For the export, the 10% of the markets, we have only little importers that they focus on good wine. And almost because in Abruzzo there are a lot of cooperative that they make a very cheap wine. So for us, it's not easy to present quality wine from Abruzzo because it's very common to think about Abruzzo is a region of vino da fiaschetta, come ti posso dire?
House wine.
House wine, exactly. But we have a very big potential. I can open you a bottle from Harvest 2000. The wine is still amazing. So this could mean something.
I've tasted it. I'll definitely invite everyone to do the same.
Okay, thanks. It's an amazing conversation. It was very thorough, actually, Massimo. So thanks for your time and also for explaining thoroughly to us. So we have actually 2 questions from the audience. One from Ellen Douglas. So her question is, how widely available is your wine in the USA? So it's pretty much connected to Robert's last question.
Now in USA, it's a strange moment because we had an importers that he don't live our dreams. So he just blocked us for many years. And now I just cut him last week. So from now, I'm looking for a good importer to open again the US market. Because I noticed that in US is not the wine that make you visibility, but is the right person. Okay, I need to find someone professional. Now America is quite heavy point for me.
Actually, our VIA community is a community of wine professionals where you can also connect with wine importers. We have here Julie. She's actually importing Italian wines. Also, she's Italian-American. If you are going to join for Wine-to-Wine Business Forum coming this November, you can get in touch with our VIA community.
Nice.
Yeah. So another question from Bev. So they have visited in Villa al Mare last October.
Yeah, Francavilla. Yes, Francavilla al Mare.
Francavilla al Mare. Laura was very
My
explicit.
mother.
Oh, your mom. She was a gracious host, she said. And she still have the 2004 Harriman. Her favorite wine was the one that Laura poured was a Rosato sparkling called Victoria. Is Victoria in production?
Victoria have been a project of me and my brother, because when he came back in the 2017 from his study, I proposed him to start making some bubble, some spumante. And so my brother make the wine, I designed the bottle, and we start with the 2000 bottle, just it. 2000 bottle in 2017, 2000 bottle in 2020, 2000 bottle in 2021. So we just keep trying and learning how to making sparkling wine, because it's a very different stuff from wine. Okay, before to start making more number, we would like to be more sure from the results, so we cannot put in commerce a bad product. So who tasted the Victoria was lucky, because we tried and fortunately the wine was good, and we decided to put it on commerce, but was very quickly run out of stock.
So now it's out of stock, or can she? Oh, okay. How can Bev connect with you if she would like to have another bottle?
She should wait for the next harvest. From this harvest, we start making 8,000 bottles. But from now, we should wait other 2 years to come outside in commerce. So it's not so easy and quickly making wine. There are time and waiting. You need a lot of patience.
Yeah, for sure. If in any case, your website is pasettivini.it. And on Instagram, it's Pasetti_Vini. Yeah, so thank you so much for being here, Massimo and Robert. So that's it for today, folks. And thank you so much. Goodbye, everyone.
Wine to Wine Business Forum. Everything you need to get ahead in the world of wine. Supersize your business network. Share business ideas with the biggest voices in the industry. Join us in Verona on November 13 to 14, 2023. Tickets available now at winetowine.net.